Yay.
Okay, well, guess what we just saw?
Yay, Steven Universe.
Oh, in case you don't know how to read the title there. But, alright. So, what a twist! Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. We're spoiling what just happened in the newest episode because that is
Spoiler alert,
the only reason to make
spoiler
this video is to talk about this twist. I mean, like, the episodes were fine and all, but yeah, mainly the twist is the big deal. And holy heck! I mean, like...
I didn't see this coming, no.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, in hindsight, I feel kind of like a dummy. I mean, I heard the theory, like, was Rose pink diamond? And I mean, I see so many fan theories in one day. I'm like... I mean, like, if that fan theory had been, like, a personified human being somehow, I would have been like, pat it on the head, run along. But, no, like, there are a couple of things, though, that do make it less out of left field and more predictable. Like, I mean, yeah, it probably should have occurred to me that there's a reason she's pink diamond. Like, okay, she just happens to be the same color as rose quartz. Just because, we just kind of felt like a pink diamond would be. But, so. But yeah, so some people did occur to them that that's the route they might go, and like, in hindsight, to make Rose Quartz someone special, not just because of what she chose to do, but yeah, she is the original incarnation of the main character, so...
Yeah, that's interesting,
yeah, it does make sense to make her especially special.
No. But I also like the way that we actually found it out, going through Pearl's inner layers, or what it was.
That was a very
that was interesting,
unique way to show us.
Yeah, because like I had imagined like there was something with Pearl, but I actually thought it was the other Pearl. You know, the Pearl that the yellow diamond has. So I was like, okay, this is getting a really like deep and
so like
weird.
Yellow Diamond, that moment we saw where she gets real uncomfortable when someone suggests that she could have had something to do with it. You thought that she sent her Pearl to do it, and that was the twist.
Yes, I thought that would be the twist.
Yeah.
But I was wrong.
But the reason I think a lot of people didn't want it to be flat out that was because a lot of the weight lately has come from Steven having to deal with the notion that Rose Quartz's mom shattered Pink Diamond, sentenced her to death.
Yeah, but now we know like that's
and,
not a
either. I mean, the fact of the matter was, okay, like, she was in a war. I mean, like, at this point it's been a cartoon war where, if you got the other one, that means you poked a hole in their projection of self, and they had to revive later, and like the idea of someone having to die at all is horrifying, which, okay, I mean, that's definitely a good early way to talk about the concept, but like, okay, this was like an admirably heavy thing to put on the audience, to put on the main character, and even though this twist brings a new load of baggage, it still totally undoes that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, no, Rose Quartz did not shatter anyone. She was not just an ambitious, neglected and overlooked gem. She was, she managed to have a heart while being on this pedestal above everybody else. She was even more admirable.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like that? I mean, like that.
Just like, well, I mean, like, you know, okay, I did kind of want him to have to deal with this. I did kind of want Steven to have to come to terms with, okay, his mom was a complex individual and had to make a lot of complex choices, but in the end, was still a good person. I mean, like, she made a choice that, like, she had several impossible choices in front of her and chose the one that she thought would do the most good I mean, like, you know, tell him you could have done it. I mean, yeah, try telling anyone you could have done any better. Like, okay, she shattered Pink Diamond, like, the implication being that a lot more gems were gonna end up shattered. Like, okay, I mean, that's, like, it's like, her doing that is horrifying, but, you know, okay, tell Steven that something else wouldn't have been more horrifying. It's like, you know, I kind of respected that. Like,
I understand.
There is one other thing, though, that does lead up to this twist that, yeah, Pink Diamond herself was totally in the dark. We knew nothing about her except that Yellow Diamond seemed to have, like, it sort of implied that she might have had her issues with her or not has been fond of her, and Blue Diamond seemed to deeply love her, so okay, this Pink Diamond had to have been quite an individual. Like in Garnet's flashback story, she's just this ditzy, I'm a diamond, excuse me, I need to go back to conquering my planet now. But I mean, okay, I think we all guessed that couldn't have been the entirety of her. Like, Rose Quartz had no choice to kill her, but because she was a blockhead who wouldn't listen, yeah, probably not. I mean, Garnet had never directly seen Pink Diamond. There had to be something more to her.
Yeah.
And
but I love that even Garnet doesn't know this, because like when they come back, both Garnet and the other one, what she's called,
Amethyst,
it's like,
like, okay, and that's quite a way for us to go there. Like, well, let's see. We don't really feel like doing the episode where he has to tell the other gems, I can't believe that Mom was Pink Diamond. Behind him. Which,
I like that. Yeah,
but
that
I
was
mean,
funny.
like, I don't. Honestly, I don't hate that. I mean, like, if you don't want to do the episode where he and Pearl have to tell the others, or should we tell the others? I mean, and we've had episodes like that. So okay, if you just want him to blurt it out in the aftershock of what happened in the still taking it in process, understandable. It's just kind of the way they stage it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Hey, let's just end the episode by panning back and like, yeah, we're gonna do that next time.
They can have an episode next time where they're talking about it. I think like they need to unravel this situation, especially with Garnet, because of the future side. So what happened? Why, wasn't she able to see through this?
I mean, it's still hard to know how Garnet's future vision worked. I mean, the implication the last time we talked about it seemed to be, and I mean, granted, maybe this was them covering their tracks, but for this. But I mean, the implication last time seemed to be almost that it's just a real advanced form of like intuitive vision that okay, stuff that she is clued into happening, and I mean, granted, she only seemed to be looking up futures from the get-go to things that were happening to her on some level, but okay, yeah, it seems like basically she can only see things that she knows about on some level, which...
when she doesn't
and she
know
needs to
about
know
this,
which strands to follow, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
But I really like this result because I like the idea of her, as you said. Actually, I think it was yesterday you said like Pink Diamond fell in love with the world, and this diamond. I mean, admittedly, this is kind of intriguing. Like, we've heard this story. Okay, the diamonds start conquering everything. This diamond who thinks she's all perfect takes the Earth and whatever that quadrant is, and some random worker while working falls in love with it. No, the diamond herself did, and said, oh my god, what am I doing? This is a beautiful place. We should totally stop all this now and appreciate it instead of thinking we're so great. And okay, who knows, like, how that's going, how she ended up thinking that the correct way to do that was to take on an alternate identity and wage a war against herself. But it does make sense, though. Yeah, she shattered herself, even though,
part,
like,
that was a ploy. It's fine, but I don't know. I mean, I pictured Pink Diamond as more like this, Oh, granted, maybe I was combining a few of my favorite characters to, come up with my vision of her, but I pictured her more as, like, this shockingly nice, yet shockingly cold-blooded, like, ruler, like someone who, maybe, Rose Quartz coming to her, like, we should leave this world alone. Like, I mean, I, thought that maybe Garnet's, like, bye-bye, like, that was gonna turn out to be, Rose's very abridged version of the story, and that maybe, like, Pink Diamond was actually, kind of this very charismatic individual who maybe even, like, listened to Rose a little bit and, like, tried to maybe do, like, some pseudo-mentoring towards her, like, you're very sharp for a Rose Quartz, I admire that, and, like, maybe even able to appreciate some of the things Rose was showing her, but also, because she's this diamond who believes in, expanding the diamond's perfection to the universe, being like, saving the stuff she knows that Rose doesn't, that, that when you kind of, well, this is kind of Thanos-esque, but, to be fair, I did not know much about Thanos when I was thinking this up. I hadn't seen Infinity War yet, and kind of the,
We have now, so spoilers for that as well.
No? Not talking about that, but, no, just like, well, heck, this theme's been done a lot, thinking that, you leave life unchecked, you leave people to their own devices, people can start to show their dark sides, they can start to show their greedy sides. I mean, I think it's generally the number one thing we're geared to do is to survive and to protect our families, everything that is an extension of us. So, like, that can, love your family, protect them, that there can be that side to it, but they can also be like, oh my gosh, I'm in danger, grab what's mine and run, screw someone else over and run, wars and all that generic, like, oh my gosh, have you even seen the edges of how dark humanity can get? Like, I wanted to go there a little bit, like, like on the day Rose comes to shatter Pink Diamond, like, make the payoff to Yellow Diamond's thing being that she arranged for, Pink Diamond's guards to be away, but Pink was not as unaware of that as Yellow, counted on her being, because maybe she was alright with having this chance after Rose Quartz had rebelled to, get one last mano-a-mano with her, and Rose maybe hadn't come to shatter her, maybe had come to see if she could convince her, like maybe show her Garnet, for example, show her how, or like a recording of, how beautiful the love of Ruby and Sapphire, which if left to Blue Diamond's choice, they would have been both screwed over, like, Sapphire would have been sacrificed, and then after that didn't work, Ruby would have been intentionally shattered, but instead they formed this, loving forever bond, Pink Diamond's like, it's not that I don't want to incorporate what you've discovered into my plan, Rose, but it's that, the diamonds need to rule. There is no better option. We are perfection. There is no better option than the diamonds governing everything, than our perfection being forced on everything. Do you know what this planet does when left to its own devices? Click the video screen, war, torture, whatever. Or as Cartoon Network friendly as you can get to that, and then after Rose tentatively defies her again, like, alright, well, now you'll see the choices I have to make if you want to throw things out of balance like this, and does her diamond blast the same as the other three did when she got shattered, but she's about to destroy everything, all the crystal gems, and Rose, because she's Pink Diamond, isn't even close to powerful enough to stop her, and Rose pleading like, please no, I'll do anything, and Pink Diamond like doing the whole, that's my point, will you, can you, and just, out of sheer, like, oh my gosh, everyone's about to get blown up, like, takes her chance that Pink Diamond never thought Rose Quartz would be heartless enough to take, and like that. So, that's my overlong explanation of, like, more where I kind of wanted this to go, this insanely dark, ending with that big Superman, ending with that big, spoilers for Man of Steel, ending with that Man of Steel moment. Please stop! Never.
Oh, you wanted that, huh?
Yeah, just It's like, yeah, let's see Rose's tortured scream of pure agony.
That's
and then,
insane.
like, Steven having to find out that was what Rose went through shattering Pink Diamond. Like, okay, Rose had to be a lot of things, but okay, in the end, she was a good person, person. But, I mean...
I wanted it to go dark as well, but not that dark.
I mean, it already gone pretty dark. I'm like, I see
so,
it through. Like,
yeah.
Look, why not, give us the full package? I mean, Rebecca Sugar said she'd be shooting for the moon. I'm like, okay, this is shooting for the moon. I mean, this is admittedly a big frickin' twist, but it lets Steven and Rose off the hook for a lot.
Not with everything, though.
Yeah, that said, this does bring kind of its own baggage for Rose to instead of being a shatterer.
No,
okay, now she's someone who went through with this pretty far out plan thinking it was going to solve everything, and instead it pretty much destroyed everything. Like, she was able to save Pearl and Garnet and maybe unintentionally Bismuth, and that's it. Everybody else died because of her brilliant plan. And I mean, okay, yeah, she was counting on the diamonds to not care, and instead, they care. They care about the fact that someone would ever think it's okay to put a dent in them. Like, they're gonna blow you up, or, well, actually, we haven't seen them making that choice either. I mean, maybe that'll turn out to be not quite what it seemed at first too, but probably, even if it does, probably less so.
Yeah.
Like, I think Blue and Yellow would have less of a problem with blowing up everything after that. Whoever this White is, probably going to end up the main villain. I mean, I'm guessing they're not going to make it much different with her, and all gems are hers, so yeah.
But I had a whole other picture of Pink Diamond. Actually, I still think like they were two different persons, right? After this, I was just like, okay, how is that possible? And then rewind to how it could be possible with it being Pearl instead, and she didn't actually shatter her. She only had that
bubbled her.
Yeah.
So they just had Pink Diamond bubbled all this time would be your...
No. Like, you saw, she made that fake shattered diamond, so she didn't even shatter anything. She just made it look like it. Yeah?
So... That's
right?
Well, yeah, that's what happened, but your theory was what?
My theory was, there were two different people, and I had, with Pink actually sacrificing herself for Rose. Yeah?
So somehow... So you thought Pink Diamond was going to turn out to be a little more complicated and not all bad as well?
Yeah, but I also like the notion of the background story that Pearl did, because maybe that's the way that she sees the two different forms of Rose. Pink Diamond before she became Rose, as I said, and after she became herself.
So, so you thought that, they were going to be, it was kind of going to be like a Rose to Steven type of thing, saying it different.
Yeah, I think Pink, she evolved into Rose, and Rose,
so you're not saying that, you weren't saying you thought this was what was going to happen. You think this is the route they're going to go.
Yes.
That, Pink to Rose, that there's going to be...
Rose, yeah.
Well, do you think it's going to be, somewhat like Rose to Steven, that, there's going to be some kind of a biological difference, or do you think it's just going to be a personal story?
I think it's
personal growth sort of story?
Because also I see there's a chance of her actually being Steven now.
Well, Steven has her. Yes, how about that? Steven's gem all this time, it's not a quartz at all. It's a diamond with the point sticking into his gut.
Pointed the other direction. So, is she actually hiding as Steven? Or did she give birth to Steven?
Well, I mean,
I'm my mind is not...
If they go back on that, I think that is seriously going to be too much. Yes, Pink Diamond gave her form up to become this Steven.
That's a whole other convoluted theory here I'm going. But I had I wanted it to be Pink that sacrificed herself shattered herself on Rose's sword, being like, I can see now, what is going on. You have to shatter me for this to actually,
that kind of like, yeah, well, I mean, usually when they play moments like that, it's less so reasonable. Like, well, I can see I have to die now, so it's like more of a like, oh my gosh, I was completely wrong about everything.
Yeah.
You were right all along. I need to die.
Yeah,
it's the only way.
I didn't want it like that. I actually wanted more like complicated, where they actually stand in front of each other and talked. Rose being like, or Pink first being like, well, if we don't do anything, there's all of the torture, war, inhumane stuff, but Rose countering with love and forgiveness and life and animals, and I don't know.
So Pink Diamond playing betting her life in a debate game and losing and conceding.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think like it could be a really, I will not say beautiful way to actually go out, but now,
well, I mean, I think
now
if it were
I know
as simple
all
as
of
that,
this, then nothing
Rose
else
would
matters.
refuse, like she would maybe do more what she did with Bismuth or something like that.
But
she'd
again, if she could see that it was the only way to do it, don't you think she would do it?
Well, that would be like, okay, you had someone who was willingly surrendering, and then you decide like, okay, the great, we need to go the greater good route. Like that almost paints Rose in a worse light. That is like, okay, Rose was not all good. She was a little bit dark.
Yeah, a little dark. Yeah.
I mean, or that
because,
she might have been a little selfish, or
yeah, I don't like that with the diamonds being totally 100% perfect. So I think like they have all their different forms of flaws. For example, Blue is really emotional, crying and sad stuff, and Yellow is angry and jealous and stuff like that. Coming to that, and then there's then there could be Pink. Yeah, then there could be Pink that is flawed in the way that she get to know love, and the others don't.
Yeah, but the scenario you were talking about, Rose and Pink were still two different characters.
Yes, I always thought like that was the case, but now, we know that it's the same person, so it doesn't matter.
It's confusing, don't it? But,
it gets a little confusing, but it actually made
Blue
sense.
Is almost
still.
like before she was sad, she was just like cold-blooded, like Sapphire. Okay, Sapphire, what do you predict? Okay, well if they attack, then I'll be shattered, but we'll capture them. Good. Okay, I like that. But Sapphire, this is not what you predicted. Well, this Ruby, I did not see that happening in a million years. And, okay, we kill this Ruby. Moving on. She was just frigid. But I mean, I don't know. Well, both cold and sad are things you sometimes associate with Blue. I don't know if there actually is the color blue, that is. I don't know if there's actually a connection there. Just that she's but it's her emotions are depressing in general. Green is usually the jealousy color. Yellow, I don't know what yellow represents. Some people think it represents happiness, but
maybe she can become happy in the
psychologically,
future.
Yellow stresses you out. It's a frustrating color, and yellow.
She is frustrating.
She seems like
or frustrated.
Miss Pseudo Golden.
Yeah.
But okay, but we still have to figure out this white diamond everybody's speculating on.